Good afternoon, everyone. Iceland, Krísuvík volcano on its 750-year volcanic cycle. 1340, last eruption, maybe. 1100, maybe that's what was responsible for the moon disappearing with so much ash in Europe and Asia. Dynasties disappearing across China at the exact same time. The demise of the Toltecs. The Ottonian dynasty collapse. World magnetic models, poles racing toward each other, and we're in the grand solar minimum all at the same time when more volcanic activity was expected. How is this going to affect our society's ability to grow food moving forward? Are we on a volcanic collapse cycle right now? The data of 2.3 million users has been leaked after a hacker managed to find a backdoor into the popular dating site Meet Mindful. The leaked information was personal data including names, Facebook IDs, emails, birth dates, location, and much more. All that information was then uploaded to a public hacking forum for anybody to download. Meet Mindful says they've already patched the flaw, but the damage was already done. If you want to prevent attacks like this from happening to you, I highly recommend Virtual Shield. You can head over to virtualshield.com, and in the download tab, I'm going to choose Firefox and click Install Now to add the Virtual Shield add-on. It's just that easy. And get started with your free 30-day trial. Install it, click Connect. You'll see the shield turn from red to green, and you'll see how from my initial service provider I was able to even change my IP. Virtual Shield Network protected. Go to virtualshield.com/adapt2030 to get Virtual Shield for 50% off today. Or click the link in the description box below. And now on with the video. And for those of you just joining this channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Grand solar minimum, once in a 400-year event of low solar activity, in itself outright is a society reset button. But now we start to couple things on 12,000-year cycles of polar wander. Those pink areas that you see racing toward each other, the North Pole and the South Pole, going to meet somewhere around Indonesia. The Atlantic anomaly, now centered squarely over South America. Magnetic anomalies amok. So you would expect massive volcanic eruptions, earth slips, landslides, mud volcanoes, earth cracks, sinkholes, and a gamut of other crustal changes to happen right in front of our eyes. And here we are. Iceland, well known for producing ash dispersion that affected agriculture through history. Look through the last 1,000 years and see how many of the major eruptions were from Iceland that set back our world several times. Krísuvík volcano, yellow alert now. And digging into the story here, in the last 3,000 years, its eruption frequency is once every 750 years, which means we're at least on a 750-year cycle. So when you normally look at it, it's an extinct volcano, quote unquote. It's more of a geologic feature with hot springs, but now it's rumbled to life after almost 800 years. And off volcano discovery, what you'll find in that southwest quadrant also are some of the largest eruptions from this particular area that have blanketed our globe with ash, sulfur dioxide to affect global output of food through the millennia. So let's take a look at the volcanic eruptions. There's not very many, and it's so interesting that it's coming alive at this point again. Something significant is happening in terms of long-term cycles. So are we looking at the 1340 repeat? You know what happened during that time with the Black Plague. Also looking at 1100 AD, really significant and interesting events across the planet. That was the era that the moon vanished for months because of so much high-altitude volcanic aerosols. Well known through history, optical phenomenon, and it also created a global famine that lasted about 7 years or so. Beautiful image accompanying the article. The moon disappeared. Full moon, no moon, totally disappeared for months on end. Really freaked people out at that point. Wonder what would happen to our modern era if our moon disappeared. But this, off scientific reports published just April of 2020, gives specific dates for 1108 to 1113 AD. Now they think they've located Hekla as the volcano, but Hekla is less than a stone's throw away from the newly activated Krísuvík. This eruption was so powerful it even sent ash, sulfur dioxide layers down to Antarctica, breaching the equatorial band. So when you're looking through history and you're finding these patterns of collapse after collapse after collapse, Toltecs, and then even some of these dates in question of when the start was of this massive, amazing society in the Americas, but they put the Huaymak at the very last known of the Toltec sovereigns or the Toltec nation, 1122, which should be very close to that volcanic eruption date. And then jumping over to Germany, if we look at the Ottonian dynasty, full-on collapse, never heard from again after 1024, that's only 2 years apart. So something significant went on. And, looking for this Ottonian dynasty, I ran across some lithographs here. You notice the double-headed eagles. And off to the left, you'll see the cathedral. It looks like it's buried on that top right corner, if you will. It's not even there. Wonder what happened. Mud, maybe? Not sure. But the symbolism is well known and exists to this day. And those of you that are fans of sound money, gold coinage, this was theirs during the day. Notice the lions in the heraldry there, coat of arms. Jumping over to Angkor Wat, collapsed during the same exact time. Apparently, the reasons for building Angkor Wat may be conflated and a little bit different, something similar to the Mayans and the Aztecs, because during that time this temple was constructed, perhaps to the gods, to bring them through this time. Again, it's that vibrational frequency shift. People would be freaked out. They'd be focusing differently. Wars would stop, and they would be focused on divinity, praying every day to the Creator to stop whatever cataclysms were arising. Maybe that's the reset to bring us back in alignment. Staying over into China, the Liao dynasty, which was the northern part of China up toward Korea, what we know as today, and then the Song dynasty, which is where you know as Beijing and down to Nanjing, that whole area of East Coast and further inland, both collapsed 1125 and 1127. Ottonians gone 1024. They would have been closer to the ashfall, and then the Toltecs, all within a 3-year period. That's a little coincidental. Some massive cataclysmic global event happened. They can't pinpoint the volcano. They can pinpoint the area. Southwest Iceland, exactly where this new arisen, multi-century slumbering volcano has just awoken again. Perhaps the Chinese were representing Birkeland currents, not dragons surrounding the sun. Perhaps it was the current inflow into our star that's represented here to show low solar activity, grand solar minimum, earth changes, or high solar activity, abundant, fruitful life for all societies on our planet. I talk about these issues, Patreon/Adapt2030. Join me over there. There's a great conversation of like minds. Trying to figure out the changes in all these timelines, how fast it's going to unfold. But if this yellow alert turns to a red alert, food production is going to struggle. You're going to want to get a greenhouse immediately if you see this volcano go off. Run out and buy as much 6mm poly as you can possibly get. That'll be the only thing to protect your food. I do thank you for watching. The link for Patreon is in the description box below. It's a great way to support the channel, continue the research I'm doing here, and I'll see you next video.